Welcome back to Cardcaptor Sakura anime review, part 12, and this one I'm reviewing episodes 59 to 63 of the series. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the series. Yep, only just, like, as of basically finished 63, there's only 7 episodes left. Let's start with episode 59, Trapped. This one, well, yeah, this one you have. Most of the plot of this episode is that, well, they're looking for more magic, basically, to prevent any kind of ruckus. And it's at the school, like, several times. It's one of, like, two areas where a lot of things can happen. Either the school, the park with the penguin slide, or it's the shrine, where a lot of the weird stuff that happen in the series. In this one, the school is basically acting really weird. Like, they go to the school, basically just Lee, Sakura, and Tomoyo. And they just wander around the school. They go to their classroom, they open up a door, and it's a completely different room. And when Lee and Sakura go through, Tomoyo is in a different, like, apparently, Ariel's basically the one behind all this. Apparently, he's rearranging the school, so they need to find Tomoyo. So, Sakura's like, okay, calm down, like, she's crying, and then all of a sudden, and Tomoyo starts singing in order to find her. Like, okay. So first he turns the lights on, and then she activates the shadow card. Well, goes to turn into a second card, goes and finds a particular shadow, and that's to find Tomoyo pretty easily, and that's pretty much the episode. But starting with episode 60, we have this reoccurring gag of, believe it or not, yeah, beginning with this episode up until like the end of up until when he finally does it, Lee tries to confess his feelings to Sakura, but he keeps getting interrupted. First, with this episode, we return to Mei Ling for the first time since toward the end of season 2. Yep, she pops up for this episode. Apparently, Lee basically had to contact her because, well, that was something he had to do, had to tell her who he's in love with, otherwise he'll marry Mei Ling, even though she's his cousin. It's weird. And, well, everybody's like happy to see her. She's only in town for just one day. Oh yeah, and they say Japan and China is like very close. It kind of is, but not in the case of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a bit further than that. I've seen on a map. It's a quite a distance. And apparently she's only there for one day, and then she has to go back the next day. So she goes out to hang out with them for a bit. Wow. You have Lee walking with Tomoyo, and of course Sakura walking with Mei Ling. And then they're walking the park, and then the penguins, the little penguins surrounding the emperor penguin, start to go frickin' nuts. And attacks Lee, who protects Tomoyo, which, give high props for doing that, because, well, that will make Sakura, even he knows, don't make Sakura unhappy if Tomoyo is hurt. So, he protects her. Good on you, man. And of course, Mei Ling basically gets a chance to basically beat the crap out of these, like, penguins. Now, these aren't real penguins. These are basically the stuff he used for, like, the slide. And then, like, the penguins are acting up, and then they freeze it, and then they eventually use, like, another, like, card on it, and that's that. And of course, Lee talks to Mei Ling afterwards at his house, and Mei Ling kind of figures out, though, who he's in love with. It's Sakura. He cares she can't Sakura because how great a person she is. So she goes off to Tomoyo's house to cry in Tomoyo's lap for a very good period of time. Then she goes back home. Of course, she basically, her engagement to Lee is immediately called off because he falls in love with Sakura. So she goes home, and, well, Lee does see her off. How nice of her, how nice of him to do, because she's still family. And basically, she just referred to simply as, well, her friend, even though they're cousins. Yep, and when she gets back to Hong Kong, she sends Sakura, Tomoyo, and Lee a letter. And she also apologizes to Tomoyo for the waterworks, basically crying in her lap for a long period of time. Like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, a long period of time, basically, of crying. And of course, starting with this episode, we had this. Okay, now how does the interruption thing happen when Lee tries to confess his feelings to Sakura? He's about to, and then, well, Kiro interrupts. Yep. And, well, it's all about posing because they couldn't get, like, things on a shot camera. Yep. Interesting little characters for the episode. Next up, now 61 62 are essentially put the New Year's and the Christmas episodes. First, I saw the Christmas episode. Basically, get everybody present, just like what happened with the previous season. Yep. And, well, with this one, basically, Lee, they come to school, and Lee is about to confess his feelings for her at the beginning of the episode, and he gets interrupted by the guy who basically walked with his eyes closed, the guy who tells tall tales, until his close friend of his, who she's actually in love with him. Yep, he basically calls him off, yeah. But as for the other half of this episode, for 61, yeah. Yeah, they text him, like, they say go hang out afterwards at the school, like, go out shopping because it's getting close to Christmas. So, they want Sakura and her brother, Toya, figure though, okay, get their father a wallet for Christmas. From both of them. That's nice of them to do. And of course, Sakura does not mention getting Lee a Christmas present at all. I mean, she mentioned all her female friends, her brother, her father, but not Lee. I don't know why not Lee. It's particularly very weird. Yeah, she's like forgetting, and then it goes off basically deal with some other thing, and then Toya recognizes and of course, well, the mirror card basically is used in this episode a couple times. First to basically, well, prove Sakura's not there, and apparently Toya is in on the fact that this is not Sakura, this is the mirror card. So, because of how good she is to him, well, protecting her, and so he gives her a present, basically put in her hair. And of course they go off, and of course the mirror turns back normal. That's the episode. It's okay. It's a bit interesting. And of course, next episode is all about New Year's. Ooh, yes, New Year's. Yeah, starts off with Sakura putting on a komodo. Yes, a komodo because they're going to a shrine. It's a thing in Japan. I'm nothing against these people doing this at all, but Americans celebrate New Year's a different way. We have our own way of celebrating New Year's. Japan has their way. We have our way. Simple as that. I'm sure other countries have their ways of New Year's. So, you have Toya and Sakura's father, Professor, both put on very nice suits. Yep. And, of course, they go out to the shrine. Of course, maybe Yukio there. Yukio doesn't show up, so Toya goes off to find him. And, of course, Toyo manages to spot Sakura. And, of course, she's there with her mom, her beautiful mother. Yeah, she's seen this one brief scene, and she's like so happy to see Sakura because she was close with Sakura's mother, and she treats her like her own daughter. Yep. So it's like, come over anytime. Like she really loves having Sakura over. But like she has to go off and leaves Tomoe with Sakura, so you know like nothing bad happened to these two, because she still doesn't know anything about the cloud cards. She knows nothing about them at all. Nope. Like there's meetings she has to take care of, so you go stay here, have fun, and of course Sakura's father basically has a meeting too. They go off, and of course they go to basically the way of for New Year's praying for something special. She's praying for like stuff basically for herself, praying her father to survive his expedition that he goes on. Yeah, good stuff. We had this strange fortune. Ariel basically shows up, gives Sakura a particular fortune, and then she goes home. Then she just she has a dream where she somehow activates her star staff, and then transforms the dream card into a Sakura card. Okay. And then what looks like to be like the whole city is like covered in darkness. This looks like we're teasing the end of the series. Yeah, that's what this pretty much looks like. We're going to tease the end of the series. She sees silhouettes of three people. Like, she sees Spinny in his regular form. Does say anything about Ruby? Nope, says nothing about Ruby at all. Yeah, in case you're wondering, Ruby does almost nothing a lot of these episodes, though. Basically, a lot of the time, whenever Ruby shows up, she's usually like, whenever Toya's trying to talk to Yukito, she just constantly interrupts him. Yep. And she keeps, like, clinging on to him a lot. Yep. So, yep, and of course, when Sakura wakes up, everything's perfectly fine. I mean, she also, and of course, when Sakura wakes up, she sees her star tap was activated. Apparently, her dream came to life. Somehow. Mm-hmm. Pretty interesting little episode. She's not trapped in something. Mm-hmm. Last episode, Wave of Danger. Now, this is the second time in the series we see the characters in swimsuits. This time, it's not the school uniform ones. No, it's not from the school. This looks like their own personal swimsuits. Not like the ones from the school when we went to the beach. This looks like a pool episode. Yes, an episode where the characters go to a pool. One of the few series I've seen like this. The only series I've seen done this, where the characters go to a pool. This happened in High School DxD. This happened in Gintama, despite the fact it's placed in the 1860s and is like an indoor pool. Well, alien technology able to hits up the world by at least 150 years. And let's see, what else? Yeah, basically, and of course, it's revealed in this episode that Sakura has been teaching Rita how to swim. How nice of her to do. Lee does the usual blushing thing, and of course she has the race Ariel. And of course she tells him like a little lesson a few episodes back with the basketball one, where just calm down, relax, with the win. Because it seems as though that Lee is jealous of him because of him being near Sakura. Yeah, and then something really weird happens in the episode. They go off and hang out in the hot tub for a bit, and of course, well, before all this happens, they go off to have cream soda. And at this particular stand, we have Toya versus Yukito. Like, okay, Yukito's there, it means Toya's there because they're always inseparable. And Ruby in her false form is there. Yep. Still trying to hug Toya for some reason. Yep. And of course, whenever Toya tries to talk to Yukito, of course, also in the New Year's episode, he was like slowly disappearing. Yeah, all because it's revealed, I think it was the best episodes, that apparently he survives off the magic of others. Kiro basically is perfectly fine because he can create his own magic. My only guess is the way that, let's say, Yukito can basically return to normal is if, well, he gets more magic, and apparently he's losing magic. Yep. And then we get to the whole scene where you have all the characters in like a wave pool. I've seen one of these before. Yeah, it's like where the water moves by. It's not like the water itself, the pool itself is not very deep. They will actually have the water itself move to create like a big wave. Yeah, I've seen this because I've been to an actual water park with the Boy Scouts. This was like a little over 10 years. I think it was about 15 years ago. I think this was. I think, no, it wasn't Six Flags. No, it was some other water park that had all these water slides. It was a very big water park. And it actually had basically a wade pool. That's simply what this is, a wade pool. And Rita, of course, basically cannot swim very well. So Sakura pretty much like, okay, we can't use the thing. Can't people use the sea people? Can't people use the magic in public? So what does she do? Goes on a slide. Activates her staff. Turns the watery card from a clothes to a soccer card. Use the water card to simply calm down the wave and save Rita's life. Yep. And of course you see Ariel underneath basically with his frickin' staff and yeah. Of course the viewer knows that he's behind this. And of course you see Ruby there and she is still in her uniform, her work uniform. It's weird though that Toya basically works like it seems like he does temp jobs. That's what it seems like to me. Yeah, it seems like it seems like he works for a temp agency. That's why he has a different job every episode. Yeah, that's my personal guess of why he only stays at one job like briefly for like one day before he switches to another job. That's my personal guess of him and Yukito. They must work for a temp agency. I know because I worked for one for about 2 years. before they stop having me on. Before they stop basically giving me jobs to work. I only work like 3 different ones. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say about these episodes, but they're pretty good. Nothing really weak about these episodes. Not really. I would say probably the best one was when Mei Ling returned. But the episodes 60, 61, 62 are very important to the series. Basically, because I love it in the series whenever they do a Christmas episode because I love Christmas. Okay, so it's great that the series has done so far about 3 Christmas episodes so far. Every season had one. I don't know if Clear Cards had one. I don't know because I haven't watched it yet. But I always love it. I think like as far as I remember, I think Naruto has done it once, a Christmas episode. I know Bleach has done it at least once. One Piece, as far as I know, has never done a Christmas episode. Let's see, has Fairy Tail done one? Yes, Fairy Tail has done something Christmas related, but it was an OVA. Never in the main series. They never celebrate Christmas. Nope. Let's see. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures? Nope. Never celebrate Christmas. Not in the series. Definitely not Kamagata Kill because that's a different universe. Let's see. For Short Attention, I think it did once, but it's been a long time since I watched the show. Bushido-Ruken, I think once in the series. Actually, no, Bushido-Ruken never had a Christmas episode. Yeah, I always love when this series the Christmas episode. It's one of those really good cheery moment episodes. New Year's episodes is pretty neat for itself. If you want to think of one series that generally has a lot of Christmas episodes, Gintama always had a Christmas episode for a season. Great, I love it. Though Gin doesn't have to buy me Christmas presents except for about 4 or 5 people. Unlike me, I had to buy presents for like 11 people. My parents, my siblings, their spouses, and their kids. And my grandma. Yep, 11 presents I have to buy people for. Yeah. Not much else to say about these episodes, but the next review I'm going to do for this particular series, it will be the final 7 episodes of the series. Now, that's it for this particular review. I have, like, my next review is going to be Comic Corner. I'm also doing reviews for Fairy Tail and Black Clover. Now, normally I would have done Fairy Tail yesterday, but I ran out of time yesterday to do this review. Especially since by the time I finally put these videos up yesterday, the last 2 videos I put up, it was getting kind of late. And even if someone saved my day out, but at least I was able to finally do this today. So yes, and the reason I'm doing Fairy Tail first, because I was originally yesterday, so I moved it to today, but next week will be back to Monday. Alright? So, here's the next view, which will be a Comic Corner. Okay? See you next view. Bye.